Amazing, amazing, amazing. I always call it the wrong thing. I don't know why. I always want to call it hanging garden, but it's hanging flowers. And yeah, when I see hanging garden, I'm like, no, that's pretty, but that's not the one I'm talking about. So, anyways, so we're working with hanging flowers today. So I'm so excited because, as you know, mine are usually on magnets. Haven't played with this yet, so I am super stoked to play with you guys with this. I also pulled one of my favorite ink combos out here. Excuse the red Cosmos. This is also one of my faves. But today we're talking about the spring bouquet. We have these 6 here that we're going to be focused on. So we got the pinks, the greens. Very, very excited. Yes, I have my Syracuse shirt on today, representing Syracuse today. I got it when I went to Syracuse last year. Speaking of which, hope to see some of you this year in Syracuse at the in-person retreat. Very, very exciting. Then we're going to use the sentiments because I'm a lazy crafter. Always, I wanted to say today, but that would be a lie. I'm always a lazy crafter, and I wanted to have the dies to cut out my sentiments. So, and they're beautiful sentiments. So let's be honest, right out of the gate, they're beautiful sentiments as well. But I was thinking of laziness, and I can just die cut these. So a great die cutting day. I have this to mix some inks on if I want to, because we're ink blending our pieces. I have a pile of cardstock off to my side. I have masonry wall for the background because love, 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 love this. And then if you wanted to, you could use some of the adhesive sheets. I highly, highly, highly recommend the adhesive sheets. They are phenomenal for lots of different techniques and just for using for die cuts. So feel free to check these out. I don't know if I'm going to use them today or not, but I brought them over and that was a surprise for Angel. So Angel, apologies right out of the gate. Right out of the gate, Angel. I'm taking some quick turns. And yes, please say hello to the amazing Angel behind the badge today. It's been a while since I've gotten to hang with Angel, so I'm super excited. Not only do I get to see you guys, but I get to hang with Angel as well. I love both Angel and Han equally, but I seem to work on more Mondays, so I get to have a chat with Han a little bit more frequently than I do Angel. So I'm always excited to be here with my Altenew family and crafting the day away. So I'm pulling these off, and I am like a bull in a china shop, so mine never come off pretty. I don't know if you guys, if any of yours come off pretty or not. And yes, make sure you share because someone will be chosen for a gift certificate to the store after this if you've shared. We want to share the crafty love. So, and if you don't know, in your die packet, it does tell you how many dies. I like to know that so I don't lose any, like this little guy. Nervous. And I think, sorry, Angel, we may, yes, her angel wings, she does, she's very good. And just as I'm saying, I'm sorry, Angel. I think we'll pull in some gold with those little, they look like bowling balls, little bowling balls. And of course, we're going to name the pieces today. On the back, we have the layering guide that's going to show us step by step. And they also show the colors they used. We're using different colors, but if you know you're going to substitute, for me, baby pink for Sunkissed, you can still follow along. So let's get some stuff die cut out. Let's begin there. And I'm using my old trusty machine today. My other one has been driving me a little crazy. So, and I'm already enough crazy, so I don't need to be driven anymore. So we're going to use this one today. And I'm just putting my pieces on here. It doesn't really matter. I'd already cut this down to an A2 size, except for this little piece. So if I put this aside, I am too, Nancy. I am always afraid. Like, I'm not that strong and tough, but when it comes to dies, apparently I am. So I'm going to put this over to the side with my gold cardstock. So if I forget that, remind me about that. All right, so we're going to go ahead, and I'm sorry for the earthquake that's about to come to your screen. Oh, it's not too bad. Not too bad here. All right, there we go. So we've got our first bits here. So we'll take those off. I'm just going to put these over in a pile, so to speak. I don't need to die cut these again, I don't think. I think just having one of each, and I'll be good. I'm just going to push these off with my nails off the deck there. Okay, I probably should have kept better track at which ones I actually had die cut. All right, I get too excited when we start crafting. I get so excited. It's just so much fun. All right. So we're going to put these, just putting these on my plate over a little bit to the, there we go. My messy desk is hiding. It is lurking just outside the camera range. All right, so we're going to put that. Oh, I was trying to make it work, so I only had to do one more, but it's kind of not gonna. So we're going to move. We can work with it. We can work with it. Crafters, we adapt very well. We adapt very well and very quickly. We're very good at adapting. All right, so I'm going to put that up there because how many times have you had a card idea and you go to make it and the card is just like, nope, ain't having it. Not going to work this way. You got to redo. Okay. Woohoo! Thank you, Sue. I appreciate it. I'm crazy for crafting, yes. And then this works well too. So I have a hard time picking up these dies and they go everywhere. So this is magnetic. So you do it, see, and then you drop it. So I like to do that for my pieces. All right. And then for the other pieces, I have my little Altenew tweezers. They can lift those up for me. Okay, make sure I have no paper in there. I always like to check them just to be sure. Okay, so then these pieces, because these are smaller, I'm going to move these away from the other little group of flowers that I cut last time because I don't want to intermix and mingle. Our layering guide will save us. It has saved me so many times. I cannot tell you. But, you know, just to make it a little bit easier. Oh, and I think I cut off one of my leaves. That's okay. We have this. This will work. All right. I guess I got overzealous and wild. I know you're all shocked. Overzealous and wild. Okay. So I'm just getting this piece out. One of my plates is a little bent. And I think I keep putting it through, you know, the other way, getting it to work with me. And sometimes I think it's like, nah, I don't want to work with you today. Maybe tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. Maybe I'll work with you tomorrow. Okay, yes, I did cut off a leaf. That's okay. Because you know what? The great thing about this is that you make your vision with this. The great thing is Altenew gives you so many ideas. That's why they have the hops and that's why they have folks design, is that you get all these ideas. But what you do with it, we love to see what you do with it because you guys make creations that are fantastic and wonderful. And I think we're going to go one more sharp turn, my dear angel. All right, now you could put these in your stamp wheel, which we will use in a little bit, but I'm going to bring out my stamping mat, and this is my fave because it's got those beautiful flowers. The other one's nice with the grid, but this one, oh, this one, love, 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 love. It just, these flowers are so pretty. And it just reminds me, of course, Altenew flowers, you know. All right, so let's get started with our ink blending. Today is basically a lot of ink blending, but I wanted to, you know, either introduce you to or reintroduce you to the beautiful spring bouquet because it is an amazing set, and I don't know that we use it a whole heck of a lot. So let's bring it back. Let's new life, you know? All right, so I'm going to start with my Limeade, which is my latest color, and I'm just going to start ink blending on here. And there's really no wrong way to do this. And another thing I like to do with the die cuts is to add some depth and dimension all on my own, because I know there's going to be a piece that goes on here. However, I can still add color in areas that I want to. And these are great for doing that. And after you work with these for a while, I feel like you can get into some smaller spaces than you maybe could have before. So I just want to add, and I put too much. That was me. I put too much ink on my tool there. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm pouncing off now on my mat. I'm trying to calm the crafty excitement so that I can make a beautiful project with you, but it's hard. We're crafting. And then the great thing is, so you don't even have to put the layer on here if you don't want to, okay? You could just put the leaves as they are here. If you want to go through and you want to add some dimension with color, and that's what we're doing. We're just adding some dimension. This is the fresh leaf here. Just adding some interest, some dimension, some interest. Because remember, nothing in nature is fully color blocked, meaning that it's not consistently one color. There's darks, there's lights. It changes as you go through, whether it's a flower or a leaf, whichever it is. And so there is a layer for this, but if you don't want to use it, that's okay. You can just leave it like this, which really extends because you can use them like this without the layer. Then you can go ahead and add the layer on top too. So then you get a couple of different looks, okay? So we'll take the other one, and I think this is the one that I had a little whoopsie with. Oh no, that's not the one that I cut off. That's not the one I cut off. All right, is this the one that we layer over? Yes, so we're good here. Okay. So now, if you're going to go ahead, so say you're like, okay, I like that layer. I'm going to go ahead and do that layer. I'm going to come in and I'm lightly going to add Limeade, which is the lightest color, all over my leaves. Okay. And then I'm still going to come in with my lime. I'm trying not to mix these up because I don't have labels for these yet. There aren't any labels for these ones yet. So I am trying to keep them in line and in order. Now, the other thing is when we look at this, okay, this is going to go over and it's leaving one of my leaves here. I probably have the other piece someplace, but I don't see it at the moment. So we're not going to use it. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to put a shadow on some and not on others. That is the great thing. Okay, and these are dye inks. What does that mean? That means that they're going to dye your paper. So when they say quick dry, it means I can touch it and not get ink on my hand. However, it's not instantaneous. So as we create, it is still going to work that color into the paper, which is wonderful. So we can always come back and add more. And I had a whoopsie there, but that's okay. We're going to add some fresh leaf to the top of there, and we'll cover the whoopsie. All right, so then we grab our fresh leaf. So see, I just do this. I go through, generally I do all the pieces at once in that part. And I go through and I add the color where I think I want it, because you can always come back and add more. But I'm going to begin with where I think I want the color. Am I following anything? Absolutely not. Just my own little heart, my own little crafty heart. Okay, so here, so we've got that. Okay, maybe my piece stuck in, because on my guide it's showing me I should, oh, it did, look at that. All right. I'm glad, thank goodness they create layering guides, because otherwise, this is why I usually check my dies. I did not check my dies. All right, there we go. So we've got our two, the die really liked those pieces. All right, I think that one's darker. So we're gonna go with our lime, okay, for these pieces. Okay, and that's the great thing about this mat is you can pounce off. And then as you're blending, you're kind of picking up some of that ink anyways. But if it gets darker, or if I don't pounce off, that's okay, because I can fix it by just coming in with a darker ink. Okay, and I will pounce off there. And I'm just going to add some darker ink to there. Okay. And that one's going to be a lot darker because I did the same thing again, but I did it with a darker ink. And then you can come in. So see, you really can create. And if these are harder for you to use and get detail, feel free. We have the detail blending brushes as well. Okay. And those have 3 different sizes and they're slanted. So they get you into some areas better. But over time, as you use the mini blending tools, I really feel you can get into a lot of spaces with them. All right, so now that we have this and this and this and this, we'll put all of this together off to the side with our little leaf cluster. Okay, and then we also, just looking to make sure what are flowers and what are the pieces. But you know what? That's the other good thing, is it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So if you have something and you're like, you know, I think that's part of a flower, but I want it to be part of my arrangement, you go. You go. This is, we want to see what you can do. Be inspired and share your creativity and passion with us. All right. So there again, I believe these are leaves. Sometimes I'm wrong, but that's okay. We make them work. We make people believe they are leaves because we want them to be leaves. So they are leaves now. They were born to be leaves. Is that like born to be bad? I can't think of it. There's an Elvis song. I was born standing up and talking back. Okay, that's what these. They were born to be leaves. They were born feathered out and assisting flowers with foliage. It doesn't have the same ring as the Elvis Presley song, but I think it's more fitting to our hobby. Can we change songs to fit our crafty hobby? Is that okay? It must be, right? Right? It has to be. All right, and then because I'm going to move over, I'm just going to wiggle jiggle those off there. I do have this. Now, you can still use this possibly. So I'm going to go ahead because you can stick it on the edge of your card, okay? Because we cut it off on accident. That's okay. And then I'm going to come in and just pick up some of that extra color that's just hanging around, waiting for me to use it here. Okay. And then we've got this as well, so we can sneak that in. I'm going to grab my alcohol. I didn't think I needed that today, but we do. So we're going to move these hot second here. And then, just like magic, you also could spray this with water and pick up the leftover color, my friends. Okay, and a warning in case I don't want anyone to be scared. This will probably stain the pinks, okay? They're gonna stain. It's okay. It's okay. It'll be okay. I promise. I wouldn't lead you down a bad road. I promise, I promise. All right, so we've got all of our flower bits here. Okay. So we're going to take these. Now, if you want to, you can come over at this time, okay, and you can put them in order if you want to. Okay, here's the butterfly. That looks like a butterfly to me. This one looks kind of like a balloon animal. So let's see if we can find, here he is. He's got a skinny little, oh, nope, that's not him. He's down here. This one has the little curve right there. So I suggest when you're doing these, okay, look for one piece that looks good to you, that catches your eye. And then when you're looking at the flower pieces, that's what you want to look for, is that one piece. Because it can be overwhelming if you're looking at all these pieces and you're like, oh, goodness gracious, what is going on? But if you look at one piece at a time, it all comes together for you, okay? So these are our pieces in order according to the package. These are the sun-kissed layers. We're going to use baby pink, and we're also probably going to add a little bit of the fuchsia because why not? We're crafting, it's gorgeous, why not? So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we can leave them in the order, that's fine. I'm going to pounce off here. Okay, let me just make sure. Oh yes, you can see all the flowers beautifully. Now you can, if you want to, it's up to you. You can use all the colors on all the layers. Okay, that's absolutely way to go. Definitely do it. Love it, love it. Now, one that there's a project coming up. I can't show you. It's with the Secret Service of Crafty Goodness, so we call it. But I did a project with these, and I used Cosmic Berry, okay, with the magenta. And it does give it a little bit of a purplish hue, a little bit, but it just adds that darkness. Okay, because I really love having 4 colors to blend. I like that in my artist markers. I like that in my ink blending for flowers. I just like having 4 colors to blend. If I can fit 4 colors, I'm gonna. And if I can't, I'm gonna try. Okay, so I'm just gonna focus. Okay, you can start off the mat and start blending on. What that does is that helps you to alleviate any brush marks. Okay, because we're blending onto it. So we're getting that brush kind of all excited and warmed up. You know when it's cold and you warm up your car, that's what we're doing. We're warming up our brush, we're getting off the excess, so you hopefully won't have any of those brush marks that you don't want to get. Okay, and then this will be the orientation of this one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do this here. Okay. And then this one, I like to do where there are joints. Okay, so think about the human body. We have joints where our bones and shoulders and legs, oh my, join together. I think of my flowers in the same way. There are joints, there are connections. Okay, so this is a big connector in the center. So that's where I like to put a lot of my color, especially if you are beginning. Hi, welcome. I'm so glad you finally made it. Yay! Woohoo! We always have fun. We got to have fun. It's a crafty adventure. It's a crafty adventure. All right, so I'm coming in, and again, I feel like you can't go wrong if this is where you start adding your color. And then you can venture out. As you get more confident in your color, you can venture to darker places on leaves and stretch out where you think it would be darkest. But a good place to start is usually those flower joints. So, as I call them, that is so not what they're called, really, but that's what I call them. You guys know I have a creative name for most things that is really nothing to do with what it is. But that's okay. We like to have fun, or as my father said, fun, because it was so nice, he'd say it twice. Okay, so here are the first layer. Now, if you're like, okay, you just figured those out and now you're going to move them, I don't think so. Just take a piece of cardstock, okay? So we're just going to keep our orientation, okay? We're just putting them on here, same orientation, so nobody goes off to market, anything like that, Don't want anybody running away on us. Okay, so there we go. They're all ready to go. So we can move this all around. Yes, this mat, Pam, this mat is phenomenal. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, now we're going to spray. Now again, I know they're shrieking and screaming out there, and if I had more time, I would spray that with water or iridescent spray and pick it up. However, we got some ink blending to do. We got some fiddly bits. And as I said, I warned you guys, so hopefully it's not too traumatic for anybody. I used to be one of those crafters that I would be shrieking. My jaw would be on the floor. What are you going to do? How are you going to live with your mat with dots on it? Are you going to sleep at night? You know, all of that. But I've learned color is beauty. Color shows I've used it. Color is wonderful. So I've grown. So hopefully, now when you see this, there's no shrieking or scared things out there. So now we're going to come over and we're going to do the same thing. So I have my butterfly. Okay, so my butterfly is going to go there. Then we have this 3-pronged fella, and he's got kind of a rounded kind of petal there. So let's see if we see him right off the bat. And if we don't, we can always skip him and come back to him if he's not showing us where he is. All right, so I think that's him, but I'm not positive. So we're going to skip him and we're going to come back. So now we'll skip down to number 3. And we've got this kind of little leg there and the pointy one. And that is him right here. That's this fella. So I say identify the ones that really jump out quickly. Okay, and we got this kind of rounded kind of blob here. That one goes down here. Okay, I know I'm going off camera a little bit. I'll move them up just a second. So now we're going to go over onto the other side. And this one, oh, now I recognize this one. See, sometimes if you just give it a second and pick out the ones your eye really acknowledges quickly, the rest fall into line. Okay, this guy, he's got a little pointy finger. He's like pointing his finger, or he's a little airplane, whichever one works for you. This guy's got a big old heart. He's just full of crafty love. And then we have this little guy, and then we have this one down here. Actually, see, I got my heart wrong. My head goes over there. And then this little one there, it looks like a fist. He goes here. All right. Oh, good. I'm glad. Well, yes. So if you have to, if later you buy this set, because it's amazing. If you do, and you're like, oh, I got to watch that video. I don't remember which piece goes with what. And we also, for any die, stamp, hot foil, any product we sell that layers something, we have a video for it. So you can go over, you can watch it, you can slow it down, you can speed it up, whatever you need to do. So keep that in mind. I am going to grab the Cosmic Berry really fast so that I can show you. Okay, it wasn't as fast as I thought because I had to look alphabetically. All right, but we're back and we got the big fella. All right, so we're going to go with fuchsia this time. We're going to do 3, okay, but we're going to do these. Okay, so fuchsia is going to go all over this time. And this will give you some contrast to your first round because remember, we started with that nice baby pink. So we have some spots that almost look white, okay, because the darker of a color you put, the lighter your lighter colors are going to look. Hopefully that makes sense. Sometimes it makes sense in my head, and then it doesn't make sense. It gets lost in translation, I guess. It makes sense in Monogon, and then it comes out, and people are like, what? So I have to always check and say, hopefully that made sense. If not, I can try to explain it in a different way. Oh, I'm glad. I know. I saw this, and I was like, oh, I have to have this. I'm like, it's so wonderful. And then I got it, and I got some other stuff too. So then I was playing with the other stuff, and I didn't get to play with this yet. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it live. Let's have some fun. So this is my first go around with this as well. which I think is good because you can see as I go through what areas maybe might, pose a little question or something. If I can share that with you guys, I love to do that. Love to be able to answer any questions you have about stuff. All right, and then this one, I'm just going to add a little bit. We'll add some of the cosmic berry as well. It actually goes on. Woo-hoo. Rolling, rolling, rolling. And I do have an in-studio audience today, so there may be a paw showing up at some point, but right now the in-studio audience is resting. It is DEXY. We won't say the words because you know what happens when you say the words. Okay. And I need my blending tool for cosmic berry, but it's under the table. So I'm going to just grab my regular middle of the road kind of reddish pinkish one and do this. Okay. So this is dark. Definitely pounce off. Okay. But when you come in, and it just gives that extra touch. Okay. So see the difference between these two. So that one has the cosmic berry here. Okay. And this one does not. So it kind of pulls it a little more purplish as well, but I'm okay with that. And you could, if you wanted to stay the more pinky color, you absolutely could. We have lots of inks that you can intermix and mingle and create beautiful, beautiful, what do we call it? Layering colors. So keep that in mind. Just have a play some days. I know there are some days when you're like, oh goodness, I'm doing the inspiration challenge. I got to get my card done today. But there are some days when you have time to have a play. Make sure you create some of those days for yourself because those days are very, very important as a creator. You've got to have those days when you can just go free. All right, so I almost sprayed this with my pieces on there. Holy shnikey. That would have been bad. All right, so we're going to pick up our little pieces and see how quick and easy it is to sort them out. Like I said, trust your eye. Whatever your eye says, if your eye sees this piece first and it's 6th on the list, it doesn't matter. Just use a piece of spare cardstock or one of the Altenew palettes that we have. You can put your pieces on there and you're all good to go. So we're going to clean this off. I know, if I wasn't filming, I promise you, I would be soaking up all this beautiful ink with water and creating a gorgeous background. But look at all the love, and I love that I have the little shapes in there. How cool is that? All right, so there we go. We're going to move that aside. Good to go. Hello everyone as you're coming in. So glad you're here with us today. All right, so now, because it's about that time, now I want to sing a song from the 80s. I think it's To Break Forth, the Rhythm and the Rhyme, but I cannot do rhythm and rhyme, so we're not going to do that today. Instead, we're going to cut out some glitter gold cardstock. Now, if you wanted to, you definitely could pop some the adhesive sheets on the back. And that's the great thing with these sheets is that you can just pull a little piece. I think I have some. Yes, I do. So this is my good looking package. And this is my used package. So I can pull just a little piece here. Okay. And now my nails are thicker, so sometimes it takes me a hot second to get it going. But that's a me issue, not an adhesive issue. All right, so then I'm going to trim this down. Okay. And then we will go ahead and trim this off. I save every scrap of the glitter. Well, actually all my cardstock, but especially the glitter cardstock. All right. And we will use the machine I'm disagreeing with at the moment. Let's see if it agrees with me now. Maybe because you guys are watching, it'll agree with me. Maybe. Maybe not. All right, here we go. Let's see. Fingers crossed, my die cut machine wants to play nice. Do. I know it's usually not faster when I do it myself, but I feel like it's faster. I don't know why. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and, I knocked my pieces around. Holy Toledo. I just cannot keep these on the paper today. I'm telling you, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just too excited. Okay, so what we're going to do is, while we have that going, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run through a piece of cardstock that is actually A2 size and is not Nina. I'm going to put this in here and I just line up. So whenever I do embossing folders, don't worry about the back. The back doesn't matter. When you're just trying to line it up, okay, don't worry about the back. Let the back just hang out and do its thing. Align the sides and the top, okay? Get your place, get your cardstock wherever you want it. Hold it with one hand, pinch with the other, pinch, release, there you go. That's my trick. So even if you've marker colored, artist marker, or watercolored one of our amazing embossing folders, and then you want to do it again, that's how you do it. Just line it up and hold it just like that. Good to go. Okay, and we will have to do our sentiment in a minute, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to bring this over, okay? We're going to bring these over. We've got our little gold bits here, okay? And then we've got our guide, okay? We like our guide. And I don't think I did the top layer piece for this. I don't think I die cut that one, so it's good that I liked the base. Sometimes cards come together that way, don't they? You know, you forget to cut a layer and you're like, oh, it looks nice as it is. I'm good. All right, so these are our two butterflies. Now, if you wanted to, you could pop this up with some adhesive. Oh, and I have my glue tape pen. Sorry, Angel, that was another surprise. Surprise! Apparently, I didn't think I needed adhesive today. I was just going to magically blink like I Dream of Jeannie and hook these pieces together. All right, and then get this. And I love these because even if you're off a scotch, it doesn't matter. Nobody knows. They're so flowy and beautiful that it doesn't even matter, my friends. If you're off, you're on, doesn't matter. It's just a beautiful, beautiful project together. All right, and then this was the guy that gave me a little trouble. I just have trouble. That's him. See, he's got that little curved. He's upside down. That's his bottom piece. He's got that little curved thing. But that's not what my eye sees. My eye sees other things. So again, it just doesn't want to. My eye doesn't want to see that. So that's okay. I can do other pieces first, and then come and get this piece. Oh, good. There's a piece of fur in there, so everybody will know it's from my house because it has a piece of fur. Okay, and this one right here, the key to lining this up, if you want to line this one up, is to get your little rounded piece over in the corner here, okay? If you don't want to have it perfectly lined up, that's okay too. All right, and then we have this piece that looks like an eagle head to me. So we're going to go with that. And then this one looks like the fish tail. See, we got the little goldfish tail there. All right. Now, the only other problem is I'm a bull in a china shop, and these pieces are a little bit delicate. So some of mine may be bent in ways that they're not supposed to be bent in. But that's okay, because this way is a Bridget Casey original. And this one aligns with the bottom, right where I'm aligning this down on the bottom down here. That's where we're going to put that, okay? But again, if you put it in the center, nobody is ever going to know unless you tell them. If you tell them, oh, this piece should have been here, they'll know. Otherwise, they'll have no idea. They will just see a beautiful, beautiful project that you have completed. All right, and then this one goes right down in the corner, okay? And yes, the little feet kind of go down there. So I'm You'll align that. There's like a curve down here that it aligns right on the bottom. I'll flip it over so you can see it better. There's a little curve right down here that I aligned that with, okay? So there's that piece. So we'll put that up there. Now we're on our second column, okay? And see, you guys saw me put pink on there, but by adding that extra color. Now this only used the spring bouquet. So this had baby pink, fuchsia, and magenta. So, but you can see that looks white. It's not white, it's pink. But the darker the color, it really enforces that it makes it look a lot lighter than it is. So sometimes you do have to add a little bit more color than you were intending to if you want to have a really big difference. Okay, this is the airplane piece. See, we got the little airplane going there. And we got the little point, okay, is going up. So if you're having trouble as well, make sure you align your pieces to match the layering guide. And then it's easy peasy lemon squeezy because you just follow along with the images there. So I highly suggest when you cut your pieces out, put them in order that you will be using them, A. B, put them in the orientation that they are on the layering guide, and these come together effortlessly, okay? So this one, the point is kind of turned this way a little bit. Then I've got this big fella right here. I'm gonna go ahead. Now, a warning as well, if you're doing this and you used a lot of ink, it may be difficult for your adhesive to stick. So if that's the case and you're like, oh, my adhesive won't stick, your ink may be too wet. Okay, so sometimes, like I said, it is quick dry, not instant dry. So sometimes you have to allow a little bit more time for it to dry before you start adding little pieces. Okay, and then this piece goes on the two little wings here. My little angel wings. I have a flower that are angel wings. Yay! Okay, we'll put this down. There's a point right on the bottom. If you don't have shaky hands, it works a lot better. I'm just shaking with crafty excitement. Okay, and then this one, the bigger point is going to go up. And this one comes over like this. You probably can see it better on the white than you can on the black. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put adhesive on the back. Now once I have the adhesive, it's easier to pick up because I can just touch it with my finger, but I also like my little tweezers. And then this one is just going to fit right in the curve right there. So now we have our flower centers. Now these, of course, like with everything, have a flower that they go with. I'm not overly worried about it. So because they are adhesive, I'm just going to push them and hope that they come off on my finger. Most of them I think are. Yes. All but one. All right. So push again. All right. And again, big fella. Come on, big fella. You know you want to stick to my finger. There we go. All right. And then I'm just going to put flower centers down. I am not really paying attention to which one goes on where. Because again, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I am trying to put the bigger ones on the bigger flowers. Okay. As I put them on here. Wants to stay on my tweezers. Because remember, he's sticky. He's a sticky fella. Okay, here we go. Woo. And I'm covered in them, so I'm trying to be careful. All right, this one's a smaller one. And I know this one has a point right here, so I'm going to put that down in the point. Down in the point. Maybe. There we go. There we go. All right, this one does not have a flower center. And our little boot does not have a flower center. So we're going to keep going here, and I'm trying to get them off my finger without poking my finger. Okay. And again, if you wanted to, I'm sure you could match up the shapes. I don't know if I was crafting on by myself, if I would do that. I'm kind of a quick, let's go, let's make our project, I'm ready to craft kind of gal. So I don't know that I would really look that closely. All right, so now, okay, put your little piece with the rest of the pieces so you don't lose it. You could definitely use this again. Okay, so we have our beautiful foliage, if I can say that correctly. All right, and then I'm going to put this on. So I'm going to put some glue tape pen on the back. Okay, and then I think it went this way. Yes. I'm going to go ahead, and I just like to get it in the general area and then just kind of slide it in and then push down. And I had 2 more pieces. I think that one goes there. I don't know what the other piece is, probably for the leaf that I cut off, but that's okay. That is okay. We do have that one. Let's see, will it hide some of my whoopsie? Let me see. Ooh, it'll hide some of my whoopsie. Yay! Talk about a lucky day. Woohoo! All right. So that lines up at the bottom. Okay, but I want my curve to line up first. So, I'm really sticky today. I'm electric. I'm not only sticky, but I'm electric. All right, I'm holding that with one finger. Maybe. I thought I was. And then with my shaky hand, I'm trying to put this on here. Okay. There we go. Close enough, they say. All right. So I think that kind of helps a little bit there. A little bit. I love the touch of gold with the pink. It's so pretty. All right. So get our friends. We're going to move our ink cubes. Now, you could do like an ombre stamped image, sentiment, if you wanted to, with the inks. I'm just going to use the trusty, loved, beautiful obsidian. Okay. And, of course, the tool of all tools, the stamp wheel. My favorite craft room buddy besides my furry peeps. This never leaves my side. Love, love, love. Okay. And so now, some of you know I live with furry people. I live with 2 of them, and both are extremely furry. So what that means, and why I'm discussing it at this very moment, is that sometimes fur ends up where I do not need it. Hence my sentiments. I look and there's basically a fur trap in the middle of it. So I'm going to stamp both of these, hoping that one of them does not have a combination of fur and ink. So we're hoping for the best. I figure if I do both, one should come out. Because usually I have to, look down my glasses with tweezers and pick where the fur might be and all of that. So, but I'm hoping to avoid that, and I'm hoping to get at least one. So, okay. Oh, goodness. The delightful day is loaded with fur. Okay. So we're going to abandon that one. I knew if I picked 2, I would get one good one. Oh, goodness gracious. And that one may have fur too now. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Big old thing of fur on there. Okay. Let's see here. I don't know how it gets so much fur, but it seems to get quite a bit. So if this happens to you, just take a pair of tweezers, okay, and just try to pick on next to your stamp where it looks like there is fur, and use your tweezers to try to get it off. Okay, we will just flip this over and we will try again. Actually, I have another piece right here. Let me do that because this paper you can kind of see through. So we'll try one more time. Can use We have a sponge dauber that we can use. We'll try one more time, and if we get a furry sentiment, then we will go with it. We only have 10 minutes to create our card, but so if that happens to you though in your home with fur, just keep some tweezers handy and some good lights, and you should be able to find the fur. All right, and I already see a piece there, and I see some there. Okay, let me use my little gadget. This also can help. The lint roller can also help pick up some of the fur off your stamps. All right. And some of it just does not want to leave. This one is basically has a fur collection. All right, let's try the happy down here. I think that one is our best bet after looking at both of them, even after I cleaned them. I can live with that. And I'm not going to risk stamping it again. So, but that's the beautiful thing about the stamp wheel is I can stamp it 25 times if I want to in the same place. And as you know, I love, love, love my clear heat embossing. So we are going to do that. I think it just adds a little zhuzh, and it really takes no time at all. And it's a very cost-effective technique because a jar can last you 20 years. You know, it's so much in there. All of this powder, as long as you don't dump it. I did that the first time I had used the stamp wheel, dumped it all over, whole bottle too. So that was terrific. Oh, I know. I don't even know how the fur gets on there, man. I don't know. But I I like to think that they craft after I go to bed. That's my dream, is that they come in and they make cards and send them to their little crafty friends too. So I know it's not true, but you know, when I'm picking fur off and getting annoyed that I'm picking fur off a stamp, that's my thought. And my thought is they just love to be in here. They love to be part of the process. So they love to see, you know, folks at events. They love to come in and hear their names and people talk to them. And so they're just part of the process and they enjoy that. And so you can't, you know, it's annoying. It's annoying to pick fur off stamps, but in the end, you know, it's all from a place of love that I have fur on my stamps. So if I have to stamp something a few more times because of that, of course, it's this one down here. I'm okay with that because I know, again, a place of love. They come in and help all the time, and you know, being a widow, it's nice to have some friends to come help me. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? Did I do that? I know it's one of the two. Oh, there we go. I did have it right the first time. Look at that. Again, I get too excited when I craft with you guys. All right, and I think that's good. There's only one way to find out. Okay, let's give it a whirl and see how close we are. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, here we go. Doo-doo-doo. I know. These sentiments from Delightful Day, like I love Delightful Day as it's a beautiful stamp set, but the sentiments, oh, the sentiments. You guys know I am a sentiment gal, and they just, oh, like they just take my breath away. That's always my first look. Or if I see a sentiment stamp set, I like stop in my tracks because I know they're going to be beautiful. Altnu does the best sentiments in the biz. Okay, so we did do, I was going to say, I know you guys watched me do this because I couldn't see it. You guys watched me do that. So we have that. And Angel, I am sorry again, but it is adhesive. And apparently I had an adhesive block today. So I'm so sorry. But all my adhesive, I just didn't kind of You know, I didn't need adhesive today. It was just miraculously going to hold itself together. All right, so we're going to go ahead and kind of lay things out where we think we might like them. So let's see, if we put this here, got more fur just in case I was running low. Okay, this one should have had the layer but didn't. That's okay, and we're going to change this. Okay, we're going to change this. I'm going to make that like that. And then this one will round. Okay, so just gotta be able to hold it. That's the first step. Okay, so I've rounded that kind of. So now I have more leaves that I can work with. Okay, so I'm going to put that there, and I want this to kind of extend off there. And then we will put this one kind of coming out of there. Okay, and then I don't want to get to the end and forget my sentiment. So I'm going to put some tape conservatively, because if I were here alone, I would literally cover the back of this. It's just a paranoia. I had a card cave in 30 years ago, and it really stuck with me. But I don't want to run out of room for my sentiment. So I'm going to put my sentiment on there as well. Okay, and then this is my kind of task because I could sit here all day and do this. This soothes me. I can't even explain to you how soothing I find this. Just cutting foam tape and putting it in little bits. So I'm just going to do a few. We will pop up, and I'll try to pick some of the bigger ones so that you don't have to watch me do my favorite hobby here besides craft card making. Luckily, my hobbies coincide well with each other. My adhesive hobby and my card making work well, especially when I remember the adhesives, Angel. They do really good. All right, so we have a couple that have been popped up. Okay, and I want to put one, I know I want one at that joint because I want to hide that I've joined those together. Keep my sentiment there. Okay, and I don't want to put the ones that I've popped up all together. So I'm going to put this one over here. Actually, I'm going to put this one over in here. And then remember we had that whoopsie where somebody, I don't know who, cut off that leaf? Not anymore. It's like it never happened. Woot woot. Okay. And then we can just kind of add these in and around. Now, if you're looking at this and you're like, you know, I kind of like the less is more approach. Like these are a lot of flowers on here. I could make 2 cards. You absolutely could. Just because this set cuts all of these, you don't have to use them all on one. You could use them on 2, 3, 4, whatever works for you. Okay, we'll cut that one in there. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I want all the ones that had flower centers, and the ones that don't have flower centers are getting left out. Sorry. And then, so this is the leaf cluster I created. Maybe I'll use it, maybe not. That doesn't really seem to work well there. But the other thing you could do, okay, because you have these. So here's card 1, okay? So we're just going to slide because I haven't glued yet. But this is just a piece of cardstock I had. But you could come in. Okay, and this, I am going to put these because these are kind of chunkier. Let's put these here. And I love the Altenew tape because you can cut it to any size you want. I just hold it in my hand with one and then just trim whatever size. And look how thin I can get that. I can get that nice and thin. So I can fit in any area essentially with this foam tape. Okay, and then I'm going to trim that because I think I'm going to have to. So what I would do here is I would just stamp my sentiment. So let's steal the sentiment from over here. Okay, so this is our little card, literally. This is a different sized shape, different shape. And you could actually even do this. So you two ways. You could do this up here. Okay. And tuck those in there. I would add another layer of dimension to my sentiment. Okay. And then I'm going to tuck this in here so that the flower's kind of close to it, but it's not, it's not suffocating it. Definitely need 2 layers on here, but you guys get where I'm going with this. And then, because this doesn't work for me anymore, I thought it was going to, but it doesn't. So all I do is I'm just going to trim this, and it really doesn't matter. I can just trim it crooked, meaning I can trim it so it's not rounded because nobody's going to see it. So then I'm going to come in over here. I'm going to tuck this, and then I'll come over and maybe we switch this. Maybe we have this one down here. So this is the fun part. This is where you have a play. Okay. But then I just tuck this up in here. So there you go. Ah, he's running away from me. He's scared. It's okay. We're making a card with you. I didn't put you in the bin. Don't be scared. So that would be what I would do with your extra bits, is just take this and then put it through. You could also put it through your 3D embossing folder, this bottom one, if you wanted to. But I think sometimes there is beauty in having just a plain piece, plain piece of white cardstock, and then having that sentiment. Again, I would put 2 layers of foam tape and tuck these under because these are popped up. The leaves will stay flat. Okay, you could also, the other thing that you could do, so I'll leave that for a second if you want to pause the screen, but the other thing that you could do is you could have your sentiment down in the corner and then build your arrangement off your sentiment and build up. Okay, build up your card base so you're going up. All right, or the other thing is having your sentiment down here, you can still angle down. You can come over. But this makes your sentiment the star of the show. You want it to hug your sentiment. You want folks to know. You're sending hugs. Hug it with your leaves. Okay? So here's another play on that with another different location of stuff. Okay? So there's that one. There's that. So if you're pausing it, you can see. And then of course, let me see. I think I have. So this was from Craft Your Life kit a while ago. So I'll put that there just for the sentiment of it, so you can see it. But look how far. And you don't have to make one card with all of these florals. Stretch them out, and look, you get a couple cards from one really, really fun set. So I hope this has been good. Yes, if you go over, I don't know if Angel or right at the end, there is a class in Alta New Academy, has so many classes on basically everything. But JC does have a wonderful class on flower composition. So if you're interested in that, head on over to the Alta New Academy and check that out. It is an amazing class. As you know, JC creates beautiful, beautiful projects, and there are lots and lots of classes really for anything you want to learn in crafting. So head on over and check out Alta New Academy as always. There's always opportunities to learn with Alta New, even if we're not live. So that's the wonderful thing. I want to thank you so much for joining me and staying a couple minutes over, but I would craft with you 24/7, so a couple minutes is nothing, right? Right? And I hadn't seen Angel in forever, so So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you. I get to see you a couple times next month as well, so I'm already super excited to craft with you. From all of us at Alt New, thank you so much for allowing us to help you craft your life. Until next time, happy crafting, my dear friends. Goodbye.